Hey, Desiree, just tell me when.
Whenever you're ready.
Morning, everyone. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. Today is June 10th, 2026. This is the Public Information Education Committee and Special Meeting of the Board of Directors, West Basin Water District. With that, can we please determine if we have a quorum?
Happy to do so. Director Donald Deere. Here. Director Scott Houston.
Here.
Director Tommy Favai. Director Desi Alvarez. And Director Gloria Gray. Director Gray, are you there? She was there.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm here.
All right. We're not sorry
I'm
you're here. Chair Houston, we do have a quorum of the Public Information and Education Committee, as well as the special meeting of the Board of Directors.
Okay, excellent. All right, moving forward, public comment. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak?
Mr. Chairman, we have not received any requests for public comment, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If there are any members of the public that would like to speak, please indicate so by raising your virtual hand. And Mr. Chair, I see no hands raised.
Okay, very good. Presentations, we have none today, so let's see. 5 is our action calendar. 5A, award a partnership agreement to the South Bay Cities Council of Governments. So is it that time again? All right, please introduce that item.
Happy to do so, Chair Houston. This item is going to be presented by Gus Meza, our Senior Water Policy and Resource Analyst, and the item will begin on page 4 of the packet.
Thank you, Eric, and good morning, Chair Houston, committee and board members. I will be using the PowerPoint slides that begin on packet page 6. As you mentioned, this is our annual update of our partnership with the South Bay City Council of Governments, and I'll be covering the current fiscal year accomplishments and reading the recommendation for the new fiscal year. Next page, please. Hard to believe, but this year marks our 20th anniversary with our partnership with the South Bay COG. As the only joint power authority for the South Bay area, they have done a great job in promoting and supporting our programs throughout the 16 cities that they represent and serve. Here on the slide, you can see a map of their service area, which pretty much overlaps our service area in the South Bay area. In addition to West Basin, they also have partnership agreements with these other agencies that are listed, including WRD, LADWP, and the sanitation districts, just to name a few of them there. Next slide, please. Through our partnership, they provide West Basin with outreach, promotion, and support of our various conservation, education, and outreach programs. They are also able to leverage their existing partnerships and communication channels to promote and connect the public with our programs. Staff manages their contract, and we conduct bi-weekly meetings with their staff to review the project's budgets and provide their staff with direction. Our current contract will expire on June 30th of this month. Next slide, please. Here's a list of the tasks that they currently assist West Basin with. They include support with outreach, such as tabling events on our behalf and placing our collateral out in the community. They also assist with our classes, workshops, and webinars. They take RSVPs and provide refreshments at the classes. They promote our water bottle filling station program through the meetings that they have with cities, chambers, and school districts. And they also provide GIS support, which I'll show some maps in a few slides. Also, through their Green Building Assist program, they are able to provide our program information to the businesses that they contact and interact with. Next slide, please. There's going to be quite a bit of information on these next 2 slides, but basically these are their goals and accomplishments. As you can see, there's quite a bit. Overall, they have met or exceeded all their goals. And I do want to point out one of them, the third one down, collateral in the community. Over the last few years, they have provided our program literature to the various city halls, libraries, and chambers, in total 43 locations. So this is just one example of how they help promote our programs to the public. Next slide, please. Here are more goals and accomplishments. And on this page, I'll just mention that they continue to provide us with great support for our rain barrel events. They take the RSVPs, they staff the events, they database the customers, and they also request installation photos from the participants. So this is a great help to staff. Next slide, please. With their GIS expertise, they have developed plotted maps for 5 of our programs, as you can see here. We also attached larger maps as exhibits to this board memo in order to see them better. 2 of these maps are new this year. They are the tabling events attended map and the marketing material locations map. They attended over 100 events throughout the year at the various cities and LA County areas. And now you can see visually how they are distributed throughout the service area. The marketing drop-off map shows the 43 locations where our materials are located. They do maintain the information for us in order to keep it current. And these maps also help us to see how we're distributing our programs throughout the service area and to see if there's any gaps that we can focus in on. Next slide, please. Over these next several slides, I'm going to briefly touch upon the classes, workshops, and programs where they provide support. Here you can see the classes held back in July through September of last year. They typically, as I mentioned, they typically help us with promotion, registrations, and refreshments at these classes. Slide, please. These are the classes from September through February of this year. Here's a photo of a fire escaping class with Director Houston that we held in Malibu back in November. Next slide, please. And these are the classes that are held from February through April. Most of these classes, as you know, are very well attended. Next slide, please. And here are the classes that we provided from May through June. We just held our West Basin chat last night, where 20 residents participated. So in total, we conducted 7 landscape classes, 4 fire escaping classes, 3 Know Your H2O classes, and 3 West Basin chats for this last fiscal year. Next slide, please. Next are some photos from events where their staff and volunteers assisted us. Here's one of their volunteers with Director Pavai. They had a booth at our water harvest event last year. Next slide, please. Here's a photo of our gardening class we held in Alameda with the rain barrel winner and Mel. Next slide, please. Here's a couple of photos of a landscape class that we held at the city of Rolling Hills, along with a volunteer from the South Bay COG there, the picture to the right there. Next slide, please. And as part of our agreement, we also train their volunteers on our programs and provide them with a tour of our water recycling facility so that they can learn more about us and they can be more informed. So when they're out there tabling events on our behalf, they can be providing accurate information. So we do this training at least one time a year, sometimes twice a year for their volunteers. Next slide, please. And here's a list of the 6 rain barrel events that we held this last year. Here's a photo of Director Gray meeting one of the volunteers there at Morningside High School, and another photo of Director Houston presenting a rain barrel check to the El Segundo Women's Club for their help with the event. Next slide, please. Now I'm going to cover the tasks for this new fiscal year. Next slide, please. Oh, thank you. Basically, they will be assisting us with many of the same programs. Over the last 20 years, we have really honed in on their strengths and where they can help us best. They are great at promotion, outreach, and assisting with our programs. They also have GIS capabilities and partnerships with energy programs. We're also able to reach the business community through their Green Business Assist program, where they promote energy programs and our grass replacement rebates and landscape designs to businesses as well. Next slide, please. These are the tasks and metrics, and we'll keep track of all of these metrics for this new fiscal year. As I mentioned, we meet with them every 2 weeks to review the goals and discuss how things are going with the programs. So these are mostly the same programs for this next fiscal year. Excuse me. Next slide, please. And here's the budget. The title of this slide should really say fiscal year 26-27 contract budget. Their labor rates did increase a little bit, but there will only be a slight increase of 2% to the budget. This contract amount has been budgeted and approved through our newly adopted budget and rates. Next slide, please. So in summary, they have done a great job with promoting us and the community with great customer service, support for our programs, and have helped us to communicate with our cities and businesses through their contacts and relationships. Next slide, please. So the recommended motion is that the board authorize the general manager to enter into a conservation partnership agreement with the South Bay City Council of Governments to promote and support West Basin programs under the direction of staff from July 1st, 2026 through June 30, 2027 for an amount not to exceed $174,950. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Gus. Any questions or comments from committees? So Director Deere.
I had a question earlier, but I forgot what it was. He covered so much material very quickly. Did a good job too.
Thank you.
So I'll make the motion
Oh, well, we'll just,
when the time comes.
oh, okay. Director Gray, any questions or comments on this?
No questions. Thank you for the presentation. It was very thorough. Thank you, though.
Excellent. Thank you. And, well, I'll just say, an item or two, and one is, I think you did a wonderful job for us. I think we all know that. We appreciate them. Hard to believe it's gonna be 20 years. So that's pretty amazing. So what I'm gonna do is, one is I'll recommend this moves forward for approval to the board. And Director Deere, do you agree?
Yes.
Excellent. Number two, I'm assuming someone will probably be here from their organization on Monday when this is on the agenda.
We can reach out.
They usually are, but could you?
Yes.
We'll confirm that.
They'll be here.
They did mention, Director Houston, that their outgoing chair, Bernadette Suarez,
Yes.
who's also counsel for the city of Lawndale,
Uh-huh.
plans to be here on Monday to address the board, to thank the board
Great.
for the partnership.
Good. Yeah, that would be excellent. And then let's see a couple things too really quick. One is they usually honor their volunteers later in the year. So whenever that date is, can you keep us posted on this? And secondly, down the road, it'd be great if we had an opportunity to go address them on behalf of the 20 years of working together. But we'll get through Monday first. Yes, let's think about how we can do that, okay? Yeah. All right, so with that, the committee has decided, yes, move forward with a yes position for Monday. And I really appreciate the report. Next is 5B as in boy. Contract award for bus transportation services for the school tour program. So Eric, please.
Certainly, Chair Houston, our school tour program is one of our most successful and also longstanding programs. So we've got Daryl Ramos Young, Manager of Communications, to discuss this item, and it's can be found on page 44.
Thank you, Eric. Morning, directors. As the 2025-26 school year program wraps up for the season, West Basin staff is taking a look at planning for the next 2 years of education programs. And is here to recommend the contract vendors to make that a success. As Eric mentioned, one of West Basin's signature education programs is the school tour program, which operates from September to June. The complimentary school bus is a highly valued component of this program and ensures equitable access for all public and private schools within the West Basin service area. Up to 100 buses can be scheduled to fulfill the annual program needs with an approximate 5-hour time span per trip. Since 2010, the board of directors has approved 2-year professional bus transportation service agreements. From 2010 to 2019, bus transportation services was provided by Student Transportation of America Incorporated and Mission School Transportation Incorporated. Pacific Coachways has served as the bus transportation provider for the school tour program from 2019 to 2024. Most recently, Pacific Coachways was awarded the last 2-year bus transportation services agreement, which will expire on June 30th, 2026. Utilizing the Open Gov procurement system, staff issued an RFP on April 16th, 2026 for bus transportation services. And in the solicitation overview on packet page 62, one can see that over 3,000 companies were invited to participate in the solicitation on opengov.com, over 600 vendors on publicpurchase.com, and over 2,700 followers on LinkedIn, with an additional 26 vendors contacted by email about the solicitation. By the May 12th deadline, West Basin received 7 proposals from the following bidders: American Transportation System, Lynn Lines Incorporated, Los Angeles Charter Transportation Incorporated, Lux Bus America, Pacific Coachways, Transportation Systems Unlimited, and Zoom Services. Representatives from the Public Information and Education Department evaluated the 5 proposals based on the completeness of quality proposal, respondent qualifications, capabilities and experience, technical approach and methodology, and of course, cost. Results of evaluation and scoring are also listed on page 62 for your reference. Of the 7 proposals received, Pacific Coachways was the highest scoring respondent, received 91.33 points of a possible 107 points. Pacific Coachways is a private family-owned small business located in Garden Grove, California. West Basin staff and local teachers have commended the company as highly professional, reliable, and consistent in their service to the 14 school districts located in the West Basin service area. During the 2025-26 school year, the Los Angeles Unified School District changed the eligibility criteria for their approved bus charter list without notifying Pacific Coachways, resulting in the company's removal from the list, making them ineligible to provide bus transportation for LAUSD schools. To meet their criteria to be reinstated on LAUSD's bus charter list, the Pacific Coachways needs to meet 1 additional bus driver background check. Pacific Coachways has dedicated this past year to completing this additional background check required to be reinstated into this approval list, which they have maintained for the past 2 decades. A requirement for the scope of work, which can be reviewed in attachment A on package page 47, is that the bus provider must be identified on the approved charter bus list for LAUSD. Pacific Coachways has been on the approved list all these previous years, and will continue to strive to meet that new requirement. So West Basin is requiring that Pacific Coachways be reinstated on LAUSD's approved bus charter list by July 15, 2026, in order to be awarded the full contract. Therefore, if I go ahead and read the recommendation, staff recommends that the board authorize the general manager to enter into an agreement with Pacific Coachways Charter Services Incorporated for bus transportation services for the district school tour program for a 2-year agreement beginning August 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2028 for $180,000 plus a 10% contingency of $18,000 for a total not to exceed contract amount of $198,000 contingent upon their reinstatement on LAUSD's approved bus charter list by July 15, 2026. If Pacific Coachways is unable to be reinstated on LAUSD's approved bus charter list by July 15, staff recommend that the board authorizes the general manager to enter into an agreement with Pacific Coastways Charter Services for bus transportation services for the district school tour program for a 2-year contract beginning August 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2028 for $135,000. Staff further recommends that the board authorize the general manager to enter into a separate agreement with American Transportation Systems, the vendor with the second highest evaluation proposal ranking, for bus transportation services for the district school tour program solely for LAUSD schools for a 2-year term beginning August 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2028 for $45,000. The total for the 2 contracts plus a 10% contingency of $18,000 would result in a total not to exceed contract amount of $198,000. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, Director Deere?
No questions.
Any questions, Director Gray? Okay, so I would say number one, very thorough. Thank you, Daryl. I don't have any more questions. Hopefully they can get that resolved by the 15th of July. So this will just be a lot more clear and easy. I see you have a long record of working with this company in the past. So I think staff has been extremely thorough. And by the way, you mentioned how many people you all reached out to. I don't think anybody could say that we didn't try, and to even have 7 proposals, that's pretty amazing. So we've done our due diligence. I fully support staff's recommendation. Let's move it forward to the board for approval. With that, Director Deere
Will we approve it?
concurs. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Next is 5C as in cat. Contract award for instructor services for water education programs. So Eric, if you please introduce that item.
Certainly, Chair Houston, this is the 3rd action item today that considers a renewal to one of our various community outreach programs and the partners that we have. So we're going to turn this back over to Daryl Ramos-Young, Manager of Communications, and this item will start on page 66.
Thanks, Eric. Double whammy. Approximately 5,000 students are served each school year with free facility tours and art contest lessons in the classroom with the support of contracted vendors who supply West Basin with a core of educators who have teaching experience and who are trained, evaluated, and supervised by our West Basin education coordinator. Each year, the instructional services vendor is prepared to provide the following services. Up to 100 school tours at the ECL conducted with up to 2 instructors. Up to 24 classroom-based art lessons for the schools in their submission, well, schools and students really to submit accurate art contest submissions and really have a good understanding just through the water supply issues in Southern California. So their art messaging will be really relevant. And up to 24 public tours so they can support special tour requests or Saturday tour program. Over the years, the district's education programs have expanded in scale. Way back in 2007, school tour dates were expanded from only 40 school tour trips to 95 per year. And this was upon director request. And all these tours really relied upon the West Basin Education Coordinator and the intern to conduct all education programs. But with the expansion, they gave you more education programs from 2010 to 2019. Instructor support was provided through a contract with CLAB, program of the Los Angeles Conservation Corps, and a really good workforce development opportunity for their corps members. The CLAB provided instructors that conducted school tours at the ECL and at the Redondo Beach Aquarium facility, as well as the lessons at the school campuses for the Water is Life Art Contest. The CLAB contract ended when the CLAB facility and staffing were dissolved in 2019. So in 2022, after COVID and our education program started opening up and being implemented once again, an informal solicitation to deliver instructional services was issued. Of the 2 respondents in 2022, Oceanographic Teaching Stations, or OTS, otherwise known as the Roundhouse Aquarium at the end of the Manhattan Beach Pier, they were selected as preferred vendor due to their long and dedicated expertise in providing environmental education opportunities and their partnership with West Basin. They also had a very reasonable cost per session. With the successful onboarding of OTS to provide school tours on art lessons, their contract was extended on June 30th, 2004. For a year. In August 2024, OTS was awarded a 2-year contract as a result of a formal procurement solicitation, of which OTS was the sole respondent. This is the contract that will expire on June 30th, 2026. So utilizing the open procurement system, staff issued an RFP on April 16, 2026 for instructor services. On packet page 71, you can review the solicitation overview, which shows that the solicitation was broadcast to over 3,000 vendors registered on opengov.com and over 2,000 vendors registered on publicpurchase.com and over 2,800 followers on LinkedIn. West Basin received 5 proposals from the following applicants: A Yummy Future, Bridging the Gap Enterprises, LLC, Rays of Green Incorporated, Kelly and Ellie, and OTS, Oceanographic Teaching Stations. Representatives from the Public Information and Education Department evaluated 5 proposals again, based on the completeness and quality of proposal, qualifications, their personnel, their technical approach, and of course, cost proposal. The evaluation rankings are also recorded on page 71 and show that the 5 proposals received, Oceanographic Teaching Stations was the highest scoring respondent and received 95.33 points for the possible 107 points. Oceanic Teaching Stations has been the instructional service provider for West Basin's education programs for the past 4 years. And in that time, they have proven to be outstanding educators who are able to meet the needs of a variety of age groups and students with different backgrounds and learning styles, and they have reliable systems for managing and scheduling invoicing. They have proven flexible when itineraries have changed and are able to complete their work with little oversight and direction. Oceanic Teaching Stations knows district priorities and talking points, is familiar with safety procedures at the ECL, and at the lowest price proposal. So I'll go ahead and read the recommendation. Staff recommends that the board authorize general manager to enter into an agreement with Oceanographic Teaching Stations to provide instructor services for a 2-year term beginning July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2028, to provide instructional support services for West Basin Municipal Water District School Tour Program, Classroom Art Lesson Program, and Public Tour Program for $141,220 plus a 10% contingency of $14,122 for a not to exceed total amount of $158,342. A pleasure to answer any questions that you have.
All right, very good. Thank you. Any questions, Director Gear,
No, thank you.
Director Gray?
No, thank you.
Just curious on pricing, I mean, relative to our last set of contracts, has it gone up?
Very little. OTS tends to be very financially efficient.
Very good. Well, I've heard wonderful things about the tours, including folks going down to the roundhouse. And so just want to commend everyone who's involved in that. So also the bus transportation as well as, instructors. So with that, I would recommend that we move the staff recommendation to the full board for approval. Director Deere, agree?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Daryl, for that. All the work involved. With that, we're going to move to information calendar. So item 6A is our water education forum update. Okay.
Chair Houston, as you are probably well aware, next week, I believe, we have our first water education forum, and Melmer Anda is going to go ahead and give us a update on the status of both of those upcoming workshops.
Good morning, Chair Houston, directors. I'm happy to provide an update on the 2 water education forums we are currently planning that begin next week, with my update starting on package page 74. Have the Water for Tomorrow, a community conversation. These events will introduce the public to West Basin's mission in the cities both north and south of the Edward C. Little water recycling facility. These locations will provide residents who may not be able to attend our events at ECL an opportunity to do so and learn about our water management initiatives and current and future water supply trends, all while addressing the service area's water future. Since the report was submitted, in addition to confirmed panelists from West Basin and Metropolitan Water District, we have secured commitments from the Water Replenishment District and Los Angeles Department of Water and Power as panelists. Additionally, the City of Inglewood and Golden State Water Company will be in attendance to table and answer any questions at the Inglewood event on June 24. For the Carson event on July 8th, we have confirmed Los Angeles County Sanitation District as a panelist, as well as the City of Carson to table and answer questions, and look forward to Cal Water's confirmation soon. Again, the dates and venues are listed on the bottom of package page 74. On the next package, page 75, I'll go over the program agenda that will showcase the agency, our partners, and what West Basin is doing to make a difference in the communities we serve. The event foyer opens at 5:30, which is when guests are welcome to arrive and mingle, view winning submissions from our recently completed student artwork contest, and view a painted rain barrel at each event, which is one of our opportunity drawing prizes and was painted by local high schools and acclaimed at Water Harvest. Attendants can also gather information on conservation and education programs at the West Basin collateral table, as well as visit agency partner tables. The hot complimentary buffet dinner, catered by Red's Flavor Table, begins at 6 and features chicken piccata, roast beef with mushroom gravy, and a vegetarian pasta as the main dishes. When the program begins at 6:30, the MC will welcome attendees and introduce Director Gray, who will make opening remarks and acknowledge any special guests in attendance. The July 8 event in Carson will follow suit. We sent Director Gray's remarks via the General Manager's office early this morning. The MC will then introduce the panelists from West Basin, MWD, WRD, and LADWP, who will provide their own brief self-introductions and talk about their respective agencies before the MC begins the panel topics in an informal conversation style setting that welcomes dialogue. Additionally, each forum will include giveaways and opportunity drawings to make the experience more engaging and interactive. And will conclude with a summary of the forum's key issues given by General Manager EJ Caldwell, which will be followed by a Q&A session. A summary of the marketing and promotional section is listed on page 75 as well. But if you can please move 2 slides ahead to page 77, you will see the event flyer that was sent to the directors last week via the General Manager's office. This flyer was the start of our robust marketing campaign for the forums, which we have promoted through our website, flyer distribution at events and at ECL, social media boosts, and the South Bay Environmental Services Center outreach through their e-blast and newsletter. We also promoted through our chamber members that include the Inglewood Chamber of Commerce, Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, LA Chamber of Commerce, the Carson Chamber of Commerce, and Gardena Valley Chamber of Commerce, to name a few. Our outreach efforts to community-based organizations included the Inglewood Rotary Club, Inglewood City of Champions Lions Club, Club CARSON, and the Carson's Women's Club. We also outreach through our extensive constant contact email database and advertised in the LA Sentinel, Gardena Valley News, and Inglewood Daily News. With these efforts, we are thrilled to report that the Wednesday, June 24th forum has 86 registrations and 127 seats reserved. For the July 8th forum, we have 81 registrations and 129 seats reserved. As the capacity for each venue is approximately 75, we established a cutoff number of 125 seats, taking into account our average no-show rate of 40 to 50% based on past experience with our events. For any requests that come after closing the registration lists, staff are keeping a wait list while driving them to our final public tour in August and our final inaugural show class in September. We are looking forward to both events, and staff will provide a recap at next month's committee meeting. That concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Good. That's Director Gray. Any questions? Good event's already ready to go here. I would have had questions, but you answered most of them. The cutoffs and whatnot, but just so I understand, because I cannot go to the one in Inglewood, but I can go to the one in Carson. Who all, and not names, but are the same organizations going to have a rep at Carson as well? Or is it still up in the air?
The 3 main ones, us, WRD, and Metropolitan,
Okay, good.
and LA Sand will take the place of the Lady WP.
Okay. Is that because DWP wasn't available, or is that
The
because
service area.
service area? Got it. And obviously Cal Water's working that.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Well, I'm excited about it. Thank you for putting all of this together. And, not to, look, I have my thoughts and opinions on everything, and I was the one that really wanted to push this. But I do hope that one of the topics that they'll talk about heavily is the Colorado River and its situation. Because I think that's one of the most important putting out to the public at this time. So I'll just reiterate that. Director Deere, any questions for the upcoming water forums?
No.
Well, it sounds good. And again, really appreciate it. And also on the one in Carson, I'm assuming the Director Favai is in attendance. He'll be speaking for welcome or whatever, right? Similarly to what you've read.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Sounds good. Thank you for that. Let's move on to item 6. B as in boy, staff audit of ocean-friendly garden sites. Eric.
Great, Chair Houston, moving right along, we have Matt Uve, Manager of Water Policy and Resources, for this item, and the item will begin on page 78.
Very good.
Thank you, Eric, and good morning, Chair Houston and directors. Go to the next slide. So just to provide a little bit of background on this, and this is an information item today, but I do want you to know that staff is completely open to any direction that we get, any follow-up that we get. from the directors on any actions they might want staff to take with regard to this program going forward. So just some history here. So as you may recall, this Ocean Friendly Gardens kind of came about as a partnership with several entities, but one of the big ones was the Surfrider. They have their own kind of long-standing Ocean Friendly Gardens program that they've had for many years. So this kind of sprouted out of that. And the first garden, as you can see, was completed in 2009. And then the final garden was completed in 2017. So it's almost been 10 years now since the last one was finished. In total, there were 17 ocean-friendly gardens that were constructed, multiple within each of the 5 divisions. And one of the kind of the big things at the time the program was started was to make sure that the site owners kind of knew that once they had this nice new friendly garden and it started, kind of growing, and plants started getting bigger, it was expected that they would kind of maintain those landscapes for, the foreseeable future, so that they would continue to look nice for the public who might come by and see them. Also, just wanted to note that there was no kind of uniform signage that was put in at each site. A lot of them had similar signage, but some of them are larger, like up in Malibu, they have a big sign up there. Some of them have more of like a memorial sign, and then a lot of them have kind of that poster size sign that you'll see in a lot of the photos. So staff went out a couple months ago to all 17 sites. So I want to thank everybody. Most of the people who are here at this table or the table behind us went out and took photos of all the different sites. I went to a few of them, so I didn't go to see every single one, but based on the feedback that I received from everyone and also the photos and the ones that I saw, I'm going to kind of provide a little bit of an overview of the conditions of each of the 17 sites.
What are the conditions?
I'll get into each one of those, all 17 of them. I'll kind of go through it here for you. Next slide, please. So the first one that and I'm going in kind of chronological order from oldest to newest, but 2009 was the Edward C. Little water recycling facility. So I do have a kind of a rating system that I use to have a good, a fair, and a needs improvement. So that's kind of the scale that we use to assess each of these. So ECL is definitely one of the nicest ones that we have. The contractor that we have that takes care of it does a good job. So the site is in good shape. It's well maintained. The signage is in good condition. And I think with all of these, there's always, I think places where plants could be replaced or added. Not a whole lot there at ECL that kind of meets that, but for the most part, that's one of our better, I would say probably one of our top 3 condition sites for OFGs. Next slide. And then the next one is right downstairs, so we didn't have to go too far to take the photos of this one here. Again, we kind of classified this one as being in good condition. It's what we'd expect for at one of our own facilities, so it's pretty well maintained. Signage is showing a little maybe dirt and wear, but I think for the most part it's in decent shape. Again, there might be a few plants here or there that can be replaced or added, but overall I think we're pretty happy with the condition of the one here at DOD. Next slide. The next one is Inglewood Fire Station. This one was 15 years ago, 2011. This was kind of the first one on this slide where it didn't receive a good ranking, as you can kind of see from the photos there. It's a little patchy. They had a dry riverbed that's still in pretty decent shape, but as I said, there's a lot of patchiness there. That sign looks pretty weathered and old at this point. So there's certainly some work that could be done on this. I didn't give it kind of the lowest ranking of needs improvement, but there are things that we could definitely do with this one to make it pop again. Next slide. Redondo Union High School. This was the one of the 17 sites that Later on, they actually ended up removing the landscape, I believe, about 7 or 8 years ago. The OFG was removed from that site, so that's no longer there. Next slide.
Why did they replace it with a building or what did they do?
Uh,
Why was it-
I think they put it in, at some point they put in some new, a different type of landscaping. They might have put in some grass again, which, we're not necessarily happy about that, but it kind of happened, without our knowledge. I believe they made a decision there to do that. And so, I think if there's ever an opportunity again in the future to get it back to a native kind of drought tolerant state, we would certainly support that, but.
Thank you.
All right, the next one here is the Malibu Bluffs Park. This site's still looking pretty good. It's well maintained. The signage there looks really nice, and I think it's the largest sign that we have in any of our gardens, so it looks really, pops really well up there. The landscape's in good condition. I think, my personal assessment is that, maybe we could use a little more color with some of the plants that they have in there, but what they have there is in good shape. It looks pretty good. So there's nothing major that jumps out at us with that one. Should I say that one?
Interrupt you, can I say?
Sure.
So for example, well, one, the city maintains it, right?
Right.
It's on there at this point, but what you say could benefit from new plans to add color. I mean, that's something you talk to them about or suggest to them about. I mean, I know it's on them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually doing some of that. Gus is actually definitely, we're kind of starting with the ones that need improvement or in worse shape. So we've been reaching out to some of their folks to see what could be done. But even with the ones that we're considering in pretty good shape, we can certainly reach out to their staff and say, hey, is there anything that we can do to
Right.
improve it even more?
Great.
Next slide. Manhattan Beach, the Strand. This one, we got classified as good. It's a little overgrown, but it kind of matches the beach vibe that's down there in the Strand, so it's not too bad. The signage is deteriorating somewhat, and I think could be replaced. But the landscape itself, for what it is, I think is in pretty good shape. Carson Community Center, so another one that we assessed as good. And then I visited this one in person, and it's in really good shape. It's a nice area. It's got that nice walking path that kind of meanders through it. The plants are all and seem to be pretty healthy and blooming right now, so it looks nice. The one thing that has changed there is you can see that stanchion kind of right in the middle. They used to have a sign there. I think maybe in the last year or so, it got removed. We're not sure why. So we definitely have it on our list to contact Carson to see what happened to the sign and to see if there's maybe some way that we could get a replacement for that site. But otherwise, that site's in pretty good shape. Hawthorne City Hall. This one is in good shape. You can see, the photos there, the sign's still in good shape. The garden looked nice on the day that they went out there. A lot of color there. So they've done a pretty good job with maintaining that garden. So we don't have any major concerns there. PV High School, so up on the peninsula, the signage is in good shape. I think they did a good job with kind of matching the landscape there to kind of the high school. So it doesn't match some of the other ones. It's a little, I don't call it wild, but it's a little more rural looking up there, but I think it works well for that space. And again, they seem to be maintaining it pretty well. So we did rate that one as a good condition. Slide. Okay, this was one of the ones that was not as in great condition. As you can see from the photo there, it is again, they're kind of missing a lot of landscape, a lot of places where they could put new plants. I think there's a lot of opportunities there The signage is in condition, but it is showing its age. So this is one of the cities that I know that Gus has already reached out to, Doug Kraus on their team, and he seems interested in working with us to see what can be done for both this site and the other Hermosa Beach site that I'll get to in a couple of minutes. So more work to be done on this one, I think. Next slide, please. Okay, this was another one that, this one actually we rated as needs improvement. Signs there, it's a big sign, but it's just kind of in a location where it's next to some housing there. But it seems like the landscape itself has been largely, I don't want to say abandoned, but it kind of looked that way. It's a large area, kind of winds its way back there along the road. But a lot of plants were either dead or had been removed. So we're actually working with Cal State Dominguez Hills on some other issues. So we might take the opportunity to reach out to them about the OFG here and see if there's anything that. Please. All right, Culver City High School, rated this one as fair. It was close to being good, but I think there was just a few, we didn't get to put all the kind of the photos on here. But the signage, I think could definitely, is showing its age to be improved. And then there's quite a few like overgrown areas. Again, I haven't been on that site personally, so maybe I'm just capturing it, but it seems like they could probably tidy it up a little bit and maybe replant with some new plants. So we'd be happy to reach out to the Culver City high school or the school district, the school district, and see if there's anything that we could do with that location. Gardena Rally Park. So I visited that site. Not in terrible shape. It's definitely overgrown, and it seems to be used by a lot of our four-legged friends that go through there. So it could be cleaned up. It could be tidied up a little bit. The sign is in pretty poor condition, as you can kind of see. There's pretty washed out by the sun. So I think this is a location where we can definitely reach out to the city of Gardena and see if any of those things can be upgraded or made to look a little bit nicer. Next slide, please. Okay, so this was the other one I kind of referenced, the Hermosa Beach Playhouse. Again, you can kind of see on the photo on the left there, it's in pretty bad shape. The signage could definitely stand a refresh. And there's just a lot of areas where there's dead plants or where plants have been removed. So again, this is kind of one of the priorities that Gus has been working on with Hermosa is to try to work with them on this site and the other one. Slide, please. If you just got two or three more. So Inglewood City Hall, we rated this site as fair. There's some areas that were actually pretty good. And I don't think the photos tell the full picture, but the signage could use a refresh. They actually did really good with the mulching that's there on that site. But there are some areas I think that need attention there. That we have some new plants installed there, and anything that's kind of not thriving or doing well can be removed. So Inglewood is on our list to contact as well. All right, next slide. The Gardena Main Deer Library. So this was actually one of the top three. Like, they're doing a great job with the signage here. Looked really nice. The landscape looked really nice. Good use of mulch there. So it's a good public kind of education site to see how you can do it right. So yeah, we had nothing but kind of positive things to say about that site. So this one was one of the best ones. Next slide, please. Okay. And then the West Hollywood Street median. So as Director Houston probably knows, they use a lot of ground cover on that site. So they have the path there. They do have some plants that you can see in the photos there, but a lot of it is just they kind of use ground cover to probably as a replacement for the grass. So we didn't see any signage there. I think Jen did. Okay, yeah. So we didn't see any signage there. So that's just one thing that we observed. But what they do have there is in pretty good shape. So there were some exposed drip irrigation lines on a couple of the areas. But again, this could be a city that we reach out to and see if there's anything else that they might be willing to do with our, maybe with our help, to spruce it up a little bit. So otherwise, it looks pretty good. Next slide. Okay, so that was the last photo. So just to kind of give a rundown here, we ended up with about half, a little bit more than half of our gardens we rated as good. We rated 5 as fair, and then the 2 as needs improvement. So the first thing we're starting with is the needs improvement, and then the fair. We reach out to all those cities or agencies to see what we can do in those situations. And then even with the good ones, like I mentioned, based on your question, Director Houston, we can reach out to them as well to see if there's any opportunities for improvement. Beyond that, staff again I know that this was a director request to look at these gardens, to look at the signage. So if there's any further direction from the directors about, what it costs to replace signage or to look at that, we're happy to do that research. We're happy to talk with these agencies to see what can be done. So at this point, I would just turn it over to the committee for any questions or feedback. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Any thoughts, Director Deere?
Well, I'm more interested in spending the money on plants and improvements than on signs. Frankly, that's not my priority, so.
Gotcha. Director Gray, you there?
I'm here. Thank you. I
Very good.
heard most of it. I don't have any questions, so thank you.
Okay, no worries. Thank you. Well, let's say a couple things. Number one, I want to say thank you for going out and doing this. And I think it was definitely worthy, I want to say exercise, but yeah, exercise, and I think I'm the one that probably asked. Because we haven't really looked at these in a long time. And I remember when the final ones were getting installed, and we were really keeping track. And so yes, it's on the end user, the owner, to do what they've got to do. But it also reflects the agency and everything that's put into it. So for the ones that are really in the public space, like Manhattan Beach, the sign deteriorates or something else, I think personally it does reflect on not just our agency, but the partner agencies. So a couple of things I would like you to do or suggest is, yes, to see, especially on the signs, the ones that are deteriorating, how we would look at it, cooperating with the other agency on potentially replacing the sign and what that would cost. In the big scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. But I think that some of them, like for example, Manhattan Beach Pier, sadly, that thing looks really bad. And it's right there where everybody walks by. And so I think that that's the type of thing we would like to tweak. The other thing is Hermosa Beach. I didn't realize both of those were in such bad shape, apparently. And, I know this is Director Alvarez's area, but if you guys can, yes, work with the city and new city manager, and just to see if nothing else can we, one, get the signs updated and how that would work together. But 2 is do they have a plan on keeping things looking nice over there? I mean, that's their property, it's their space. So again, we're not here to dictate what they do, but I think we're reaching out to say, hey, you know what? A lot of work was put into this many years ago. It's looked good for a long time, but it's changed, right? So I'd like you to see about that. Culver City, I would like you please to talk to the school district. It is right next to the Robert Frost Auditorium, which they renovated. That's very public space. I was fortunate when I got on the board that that was the one that had been started by Director Little, so I got to be there to get it opened. But I'd love to see that place spruced up with their cooperation, and maybe the student club or some other group can help. I don't know, but let's please do that. West Hollywood, I don't know if they ever had a sign. I really don't remember. I have no idea. Did they ever have a sign?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Maybe we can just find out. Did they ever have a sign? I mean, it in the end, it may be neither here nor there. Did they not? No. Okay. And it's not the end of the world, because what happened was we gave them some money, but then they added on and did a lot more than what we funded. And so, and it's nice that they keep it in good condition. What was the other one I had? Oh, yeah, the one in Carson, or the ones in Inglewood, and it's unfortunate. So, I think if you all can take the feedback and then maybe next month have something to update, but also if you need to talk to each director, if they can give thoughts, suggestions, have any leverage. Again, we're not here to dictate things to the end users. But I would love to see these at least maintained in a decent look, especially the signage, right? And I think that's all I had. But with that, I really appreciate the work that's been put into this. And we also want to commend the organizations that maintain it. I guess Malibu Bluffs Park always looks great. Almost anytime I'm driving that direction, I literally pull in the parking lot just to see it. I'm so proud of what they do up there. So, right. Look, we can't do anything about the ones that were taken out. But I know what it was. With continued issues on the climate, with the potential El Nino, with whatever's going to happen, right? I mean, I think these continue to be a good showcase of the types of plants people can use. So maybe some next steps down the road is how do we utilize them again as models as they get spruced up a little bit, and as you're promoting our take out grass programs. So, again, it goes back to what was the original purpose. So that's something for a little further down the road, but let's see what we can do just to get these folks maybe to make them look a little better. But last but not least, I think, hey, if the agency find out what it would cost to redo some of the signs, and we could potentially offer to do that partnership with them. Because you saw some of the signs are in decent condition, but the ones that are really in bad shape, I think those would be the priority. So that's my feedback. Yeah, I think it'll be back. So next month you guys could have an update. Yeah. Okay. Very, very good. And like I say, if you need any of the board members to help reach out, let us know. But obviously Culver City, when you talk to the school district, let's see, because they do a really great job on so many levels, but I didn't realize it was getting a little bit overgrown over there. I haven't been there lately myself. So all right. Cool. Well, thank you very, very much. Truly appreciate it. Next will be item 6C is a CAT monthly communications update. Aaron.
Director Chair Houston, excuse me. We have Jen Jensen, Public Information Specialist 2, here to present this item that begins on page number 100.
Good afternoon, committee members. I will start this report on page 102 for a summary of our press releases for the past month. The first was in honor of Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Month, in which we proclaimed the district's recognition of the many contributions and of these collective communities. And the second press release was to promote the Water for Tomorrow, a community conversation event that the district is hosting for the public coming up next week in June and also in July as well. The next slide, 103, provides a recap of our web news stories. In the same vein of advertising for those Water for Tomorrow events, we also published this web story to further our public outreach efforts. And on our earned media coverage on the next slide, 104, the Daily Breeze paper included West Basin in their article that recapped the Palos Verdes Wildfire Expo, where the district had a speaker share firescaping advice at the event to educate the public on safe practices. In other news coverage on slide 105, this recaps all of the SBESC e-blast and newsletter coverage for our district programs, including grass replacement rebates, firescaping workshop, and our garden design classes. These are very helpful for promoting our programs and gaining public attendance and awareness of our events. As always, all of the media clips from this report can be found at the end of the packet, page 160. And for our social media report on page 106, in this reporting period, our social media team posted a total of 20 times across all platforms, including 10 on Facebook, 9 on Instagram, and 1 on LinkedIn. The graph represents the volume of engagements on the right side of this slide, which is how often people are engaging with West Basin posts on each platform through either clicking on the links, commenting, liking, saving the posts, and sharing them as well. And the total engagements were 1,707. There is a spike in engagement around May 12th on that chart. This is from Facebook ads placed to boost the visibility of our Saturday public tour, transforming lawns class, and California friendly and native plant landscape training events as well. The total impressions or number of times that our content was displayed to users on all of our platforms were 77,907, which shows the exposure that our content is receiving that can then lead to increased visibility of all of our programs and our overall mission at West Basin. Next slide, please. On this slide, we share the top performing social posts on each platform for the reporting month, and below the image of the post, we will share why it's top performer. Starting on the left of the slide for Instagram, the Being Waterwise is Student Art Contest Elementary School Division post had 510 views. On Facebook, our top post was the Student Art Contest Ceremony. That had 61 engagements with that post. And on LinkedIn, we received 303 impressions for the post highlighting our calls for proposals for the districts. Moving on to packet page 108 for our community relations update. After a grand total of 37 events in the last reporting period, there were 10 scheduled events in this reporting period, which included 5 facility tours. We began with a water bottle filling station opportunity in Inglewood, followed by 75 engagements at the Rancho Palos Verdes Wildfire Expo. After that, we held 2 tours welcoming Culver City's Cub Scout Pack 18. Also, LA County Supervisor Holly Mitchell and her staff visited our water recycling facility for a tour as well. And then a middle school career day took place on June 5th with 85 total engagements over 3 classes on that day, followed by 3 more tours over a 5-day stretch. And then a Metropolitan Water District tour welcomed 26 Met employees on June 5th, with 61 community members then taking advantage of our Water Lab public tour the next day, followed by 14 employees from SpaceX on June 9th. And then later that night, 18 residents attended the California Friendly and Native Plant Landscape training here at the DLD building. Staff also represented West Basin at the Wood Cup Community Celebration in Inglewood on Saturday, June 12th. This is a last-minute addition to this report that was not captured on this slide due to the timing of submitting the report, but we did want to mention it here. At the event, which also included entertainment in the heart of Inglewood, staff engaged with 108 community members in an 8-hour celebration of the city, its culture, and the World Cup. And then concluding this reporting period, we also hosted a Water Lab virtual chat last night. And onto the program section of the report.
Question.
Yes.
So the SpaceX technical tour, what exactly gets discussed at that, at a technical tour like that? How did that come about?
That was a special request by them themselves. With corporations like this, whether it's Raytheon or SpaceX or whoever, they tend to have like a green team.
Yeah.
Employee group. So they requested that. And with Mario ended up providing that tour since he has the technical expertise that answer all the different questions, whether it be volumes of water treated, what types of membranes that are being used, electrical demands from the facility.
So the point is, so usually it's the company or the organization requested from us.
Yes.
And a lot of times it's through one of the green employee groups or something like that. It's just more of an interest type of thing.
Yes.
The draw, obviously, probably a little bit higher level when it comes to the technicalities, I'm
Yes.
assuming. So, oh, that's great. So I'd love to hear about that. So thank you for that. Okay, thanks.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Daryl. Onto the program section of the report, slide 110, please, for updates on the residential grass replacement rebate program. A quick update on this program. Signups do continue to increase after deploying phase 3 of our marketing push, with our current signups at 406. Staff is continuing to screen current applicants to ensure program eligibility and to get their projects started. On the next slide, 111 for the Business and Public Agencies Grass Replacement Rebate Program. We do continue to promote this program in preparation for the ban on using potable water to water non-functional turf starting on January 1st, 2027 next year. And while the current postcard displayed on this slide in the report does list Metropolitan's reduced funding of $3 square foot for public agencies and $2 per square foot for businesses, we do want to say thanks to the budget being approved earlier this month, we are able to increase the rebates for not only businesses and public agencies to $5, but also offer that same $5 rebate for residential properties as well. So those changes will be official in the coming months, dates to be determined, and we will edit our website and collateral to reflect this new increased rebate once it becomes official. And of course, we'll let the board know when that happens. Water Policy will have more information about these rebates in their report coming up. But for now, on slide 112 for our Water Lab program updates. We welcome 61 attendees at our last tour on June 6th and are looking forward to our final public tour on August 8th and our final Know Your H2O class on September 9th, which will feature a guest instructor from MWD on the topic of emerging water saving technologies. Additionally, plans have already begun for Water Lab 2027 next year, and we will share those plans with the board towards the end of this.
For you, what's the day of the next tour?
Next tour is on August 8th, the public tour.
Yes.
Yes, August. Yeah, okay. Next slide, please. Page 113 for the most recent information on the garden design classes in collaboration with WRD. We have one West Basin Metropolitan collaboration class to report on since last month's committee meeting, which took place at DLD on June 9th. At that class, we welcomed 18 community members with one lucky Gardena resident taking home a rain barrel as part of the training. We are currently in the planning stages for the 2026-2027 fiscal year, and we'll share the dates and locations of those upcoming classes when they are confirmed. Moving forward to slide 114 for additional upcoming district events, as I mentioned earlier, in relation to the press release that we released, we are looking forward to those two upcoming public water education events that Mel presented on earlier in this committee meeting. That will be next week on June 24th, Wednesday, and then another on Wednesday, July 8th of this year, and we will share the outcome of those events in the next committee. And that concludes this report, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you. Any questions, Director Deere? Any questions, Director Gray?
No, Chair, and I do have to leave the meeting. I just want to let you know that.
Okay, no worries. Thank you, Director Gray.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See, I had, since this is probably the place to ask upcoming things, so it's a little early, but obviously down the road, we'll start making things up for the water harvest. Do you have a save the date type of flyer coming up soon on that? I know it's early, but
Yeah, that'll be part of the marketing plan.
okay. Got it. So when that's available, I'd love to have time. Thank you. And then I'm assuming you guys are already on it, but National Night Out is coming up. We already talked to Jimmy having plans to have you sit all of our spots.
Yes, we are. We'll have to do that at the next meeting.
Okay, I think it's about August 4th, right? You're coming up fast, even on the so yeah. Keep us posted on that. Thank you. Proactive. One last thing, and maybe Desiree, you can answer this, because when the press releases go out, you guys send a copy to the board. I
Yes.
don't recall, or maybe sometimes they come through. Like,
Yes.
after, even after the time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Get a lot of emails, so things come through the shuffle, but thanks for that. Let me ask one more question here too, because you know, I mean, I saw that flyer online for the rebates, you know, it was great. And it's amazing to me that next year, right? It was 7. these new regulations are coming into effect. And I know what they are, but I'm confused as anybody else. So how do we have like a short synopsis, what that means to people? Like, is there a paragraph we've written or 2 paragraphs or something like that that we have come out or we will come out with to try to for people?
Yes, there's a language on our website that reflects the changes coming up. So it's pretty short, succinct, and that relays information that is needed for the.
Okay, great. I'm gonna check that out because I like the way you said it on that flyer. I know you've been reaching out as the general manager for reaching out with the different cities to talk about this. But I know that the average person out there has no clue. And so again, it's gonna be on us to how do we tactfully talk about this? I feel like there's gonna be a lot of people who are not gonna be happy when they hear it and understand it. But that's the world. But how about, can we have on the next meeting, just a little bit of discussion about that, like, hey, how can we prepare to just give people the heads up? This is coming down the pike and, you gotta be ready for it. Because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of blowback from some folks out in the community. So, let's just please talk about it at the next meeting. I guess it'd be an information item, of course, but how do we better say what's going to happen and just put it out there and put it out there early to folks? Again, I think a lot of people will be blindsided when this goes into effect. And I don't know what the state of California, anybody else is doing about it to tell anybody. It's probably all on us and the retailers. So, let's have a report on that. Okay, with that, let's move on. 5D, our monthly conservation programs update. 5D is a dog.
60.
60. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Houston. This item will be presented by Gus Meza, a senior water policy and resource analyst, and it begins on page 125.
Chair. Hello again, Chair Houston, committee and board members. I'll be using the PowerPoint slides that are begin on page 127. Next slide, please. For our landscape design program, we received over 400 applications and provided 100 designs so far. Our current contract with our landscape designer, Swayzer Landscape, expires this month on June 30th. So staff has gone out to RFP to hire a qualified landscape designer in order to continue this popular program that is much needed. Next slide, please. For our current grass placement rebate program, we are currently working with USBR's staff to try and extend our agreement for 1 more year. Our agreement expires on June 30th, so we'll continue to follow up with them. Basically, as you can see here on the slide, we underlined there the new goal of 35,322 square feet. So that's what's remaining. We are currently providing $1 per square foot from this grant. So we are getting closer, but we'll continue to monitor this program and update the committee. Next slide, please. Pie chart on the right just shows that there's $35,322 remaining on this grant, this $385,000 grant. So we're getting closer. Next slide, please. For our parkway beautification program, we completed all 25 parkways this year, 5 in each division. Here are photos of the completed projects, different styles. Some have mulch, some have gravel, some have decomposed granite or DG, that tan looking material there. So those plants will get bigger. So we did start an interest list for those folks who are interested in receiving a parkway in the future. And also we reported last month that we may be receiving some grant funding from the Department of Water Resources for our new enhanced parkway program. But unfortunately, we just heard that DWR selected a different project. So we are a bit disappointed in that. They went with a project from LAWP, stormwater capture type of project. But either way, we still plan on using our MWD member agency administered funds or MAA funds to construct more residential parkways this coming year. So we plan on doing more of these type of parkways in our disadvantaged communities for low-income residents. So we'll continue with that. So staff right now is working on developing the scope of work and RFP to hire a qualified landscape contractor for our next parkways. And we hope to recommend them in the next coming months to this committee. Next slide, please. Project in the Malibu Topanga area. Our program manager continues to promote the discounted online landscape designs and irrigation upgrades. We plan on starting the promotion for the discounted native plant kits next month on July 6th. We have the flyer there on the right. You can see that we're promoting the kits. So the grant's going to provide $80 per kit, and the resident would pay $70 for 10 plants. So about $7 for 1 gallon plants. So I think it's a pretty good price. So we're going to be promoting the sale July through September. And then the residents will pick up their plants in December, on December 5th at Malibu City Hall. We'll plan on having a little event there. We'll have a lot of volunteers. We'll be loading the plants into the cars, and these residents would have already purchased the plants over the next couple of months here. Next slide. And as Jen mentioned, we just finished our classes and workshops for the fiscal year, and we're currently working on scheduling the next classes, landscape classes, West Basin chats, fire escaping classes for the next fiscal year. So thank you very much. And that is my update.
Ask a question. So on that new program, Malibu Topanga, I know it's still early, but are we getting results yet?
Yeah,
Any feedback?
yeah, Marina Mo, she mentioned that they received a few residents that received a design. But now the new strategy is we're going to try to use some of the grant funding to provide some free designs to get more traction. And then to get some testimonials and use those to try to generate kind of more buzz about the program. And so it's a tough program. Yeah, you basically want to catch a resident when they're thinking about redesigning their landscape.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we're trying to do. They're emailing, they're contacting folks, they're following up. So they're doing everything they can.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you. Any questions, Director, or anything?
No questions.
Okay. All right, let's see. Thank you, everybody, for all of that. Let's move to item 6E as an Edward monthly water bottle filling station program update. Eric.
Chair Houston, the last item on our information calendar will be presented by Tammy Lehigh, Senior Water Policy and Resources Analyst, and this begins on page 135.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah, good afternoon, Chair Houston, Member Jim. Happy to provide an update for you on the water bottle filling station program today. First, we'll start, if we can advance to the next slide, please. Thank you. So here's a list of the applications we've received so far for fiscal year 25-26. Only a handful of applications have been received. I have been in contact with a few organizations and still anticipate more applications to be submitted soon. Next slide, please. So we were able to coordinate a joint photo opportunity with the City of Lawndale officials and staff. So shown here on the left side is Mayor Robert Pullen Miles with our general manager. And shown in the next photo from left to right is Council Member Pat Kearney, West Basin General Manager Mr. Caldwell, Mayor Pullen Miles, and then staff, Mr. Lucho Rodriguez, who is a Public Works Director and City Engineer. Mayor Pullen Miles expressed his thanks to Director Deere and to West Basin for the funding support. They have 3 water bottle filling stations that were recently installed at the City Hall location. Pass that along. Next slide, please. We had another opportunity with the Inglewood Unified School District. The district installed 2 new stations, one at Centinela Elementary and one station at Oak Street Elementary. This photo was taken at the Centinela Elementary location. And shown in the top photo is school district staff, Sabrina, and then Mr. Sidhan Bata, who is the Executive Director of Fiscal Services. The photo on the bottom with Director Gray includes the students and Principal Mr. Trevino Jones. The students and staff are enjoying the refillable water stations and have also extended their thanks to West Basin for the funding support. Next slide, please. So as mentioned earlier, I'm still communicating with several agencies for funding that is available on this program. Most recently, the City of Lawndale staff, they are considering submitting another application during the next fiscal year for a new station. Staff from the City of Lomita have expressed their interest in completing applications for 2 new stations, one at the Railroad Museum and one at City Hall. We recently met with city staff at the City of Rancho Palos Verdes on their landscape rebate program and the water bottle filling station program. They have expressed interest in both programs. The City of Rolling Hills City Manager, Ms. Karina Benales, is interested as well. We've met with city staff to discuss the program in more detail. And the Los Angeles Department of Parks and Recreation staff have been working with a few different project managers for a filling station at 5 different park locations. They are still working out timelines on their respective projects to incorporate new filling stations. And then Manhattan Beach Unified School District has also expressed interest for more stations. I've continued to follow up with them to offer any assistance they have with the applications. They just seem to be really busy right now this time of year. So we'll keep you updated as more information comes along in this area. Next slide, please. Shown here is a budget for this fiscal year. And we have the remaining funds are $27,000. So that wraps up this report. I conclude with that. Be happy to receive any feedback that the committee has to offer or any input or answer any questions you may have. So, thank you.
Thank you. Richard, do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Tammy, thank you very much. As always, I had 1 or 2 thoughts really quick. One is remember Wiseburn Unified. I think they expressed last time we were over there potentially doing more. So I don't know if you have any updates from them at all, but
They have, you're correct about that. When we went and did that photo opportunity, they were looking at doing more. I've been trying to reach out to them.
Okay.
At least 2 or 3 times since then. Not really getting any response.
Okay.
But I will continue to reach out to them and try to get a hold of somebody.
yeah, see
Not
if,
just the contact that we met with.
see if there's any interest with them. You can talk about offline and then LAUSD. And I know they're big and bureaucratic and all that. But obviously via Vista, that was great when we were able to get a fountain over there at that school. I don't know if you've got good contacts at LAUSD right now for that person or that department. Any success on other options for them?
So we do have contact with the Los Angeles Unified School District staff in the grants division.
Okay.
That they organize the paperwork for this. I did reach out to them. They said that they do not have anything for this fiscal year ending fiscal year June 2026. So I am planning to reach out to them very soon in the next fiscal year. Hopefully they can, put something, and mention Playa del Rey. I know they have a whole bunch of others.
Right. Yeah, I think what Gardena, maybe LUSD, West Hollywood, West Hollywood Elementary. So there might be some options. We can talk about it offline, of course, but very, very excited just to keep the program rolling. All right. Thank you very much with all that. And I know that we're trying to work on a schedule for El Segundo High School, I believe. So,
Oh, correct.
yes.
Yeah, we're trying to get that locked down.
Perfect. Okay. So with that, thank you all for the updates. I'm gonna move on. Closed session. We have no closed session. Director's comments or future agenda items. I will just say thank you again for all the work. As always, I appreciate it. The board appreciates it. And it's interesting, even when we, add something on and you go out, for example, and find out what is the status of all those ocean friendly gardens. I mean, how are things looking? So I really, really do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to some of the next things we got coming up. Also on that note, it won't be long, rain barrel season will be coming up, right, Gus? So when do we start talking about rain barrels? Is that in the next month or two?
I could provide more information, yes, in the next month or two, but yeah.
Got it. Okay.
We're currently developing the schedule right now. Yeah.
It's hard to think about, right? But it is.
Go after, we just released a IFQ invitation for quotes to purchase the rain barrels.
Nice.
So all that's kind of in the works.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So with that, I want to say thanks again and tell you that our next meeting is scheduled to be held on July 16th of 2026. That is to adjourn.